All right, students, what you will need today is your sketchbook, a ruler, and a pencil. And what we're going to do is open up our sketchbook to our working section, and I think it's going to be page 21, 22, depending on what class you're in. And we're going to open it up, and we should have a page that's sort of empty and clear. It might say 21 or 22, depending on what we're working on or where we've been in our sketchbook. So what we're going to do is look at our sketchbook, and when we have it up and down like this is called portrait. You might have heard about this this composition as hamburger in elementary school, but this is what we call portrait. It's up and down, and when we turn it sideways and we have these rings at the top, this is called landscape, and it's like your TV or what else? Your computer screens. It's the way we see things wide, and so we're going to use this. And so if you could turn your sketchbook so the rings are at the top, and then we're going to take our rulers and we're going to measure the page, and it is 10 inches long. And what we want to do is create a border around our artwork. And so what we're going to do today is set up our page so that we can create art. And so we're going to grab our ruler and go to the top. And you see this perforated edge here? It's this little dotted line. I'm just going to draw my pencil across the top. You don't have to, but I just want to show you. There's a line here where the paper rips out of the sketchbook nice and easy. So I'm just going to use that as sort of a guiding line as I get started here, okay? So you don't have to draw that line. I just want to show you that that's where the line is. So what I want to do is go in 1/2 inch. So here's a line. And then a 1/2 inch looks like this. We have 0 and we have 1, and right in the center, right there, is a 1/2 inch. And so we're going to mark 1/2 inch from the side, okay? And so what I'll do is make a mark, 1/2 inch. And then on this side, I'll do the same. So I'll take it to the 10, and I'll go into 9.5, and that's that line right in the center. It's right here, this line right there. And so that is in 1/2 inch. So we have it 1/2 inch on that side or 1/2 inch on that side. It's about a finger's width, sort of. And then what we're going to do is take our ruler and line it up with that perforated edge at the top right there. And we're going to put the 0 mark, not the edge of the ruler, but the 0 mark on there. And then we're going to go down 1/2 inch as well. And we'll make this sort of like little sideways L or upside down L there. And that's going to be one corner of our artwork, okay? Then we'll come over to this side, and we're going to line up our perforated edge again. And we have a 1/2 inch here. And I'm making a mark at the 1/2 inch and making a line down, and this is going to be the other corner, okay? Once we have that, we can take our ruler to the top, line up this side and this side, and make sure it's straight. It's easier to do this correctly the first time, so check, check, and double check. And then you want to hold your ruler down tight. And so I put like a finger here, and fingers in the middle. I'll put my pencil on one side and drag it over to get a nice straight line. And once I get to this part where I'm done, I'll stop. And that's the top edge of our artwork. Now what I'm going to do is take our ruler, and I'm going up here to the perforated edge. I'm going to hold it down. And now what I want to do is find 6.5. From the top of the paper, the perforated edge, down to 6.5, and 6.5 would be right here. And I'm going to make a little line like this, like an actual L this time. So 6.5 is right here. Make the line, make that up, and that's going to be the other corner. And so now I can take my ruler, line it up, and I'll put my hand on it so it's nice and stable here and here. So I have the top one marked out, and I have the bottom one marked out, and I can just draw a line down like so. And now I have the side of my artwork. Now I want to find the other side, and so I'm going to take my ruler to the top again of the perforated edge, and then I have it there. I'm going to move it down to the bottom. I'm looking for 6.5, and I'm going to make that mark for where it's 6.5, and then I'm going to draw a line up, so I know that that's that corner of the artwork. And then I'm going to take my ruler again and make sure it is here and there, and draw a line across. So see if you can do that. Catch up real quick. And then Now, what we can do is go to the bottom, and all we have to do is connect that bottom line, like so, across. And I want to make sure that the line is where I need it. And it can be a little tricky, because like I'm trying to measure and write that. So if you need to, turn your ruler upside down, make it easier on yourself, find your line, and make sure it's there where you want it to be on both sides, and then hold your ruler down nice and tight and draw that line across like so. And now we have the borders of our artwork. So we have a 1/2 inch border all the way around, sort of like a frame for our artwork. Now if we take our ruler and we measure the inside, this box on the inside, it should be 9 inches or thereabout. And so what we're gonna do is mark it on the 3, and we're gonna mark it on the 6. Then we're gonna take our ruler and slide it down, and using the same side of the ruler, we're gonna mark it on the 3, and we're gonna mark it on the 6. And once we have that, we're gonna connect those lines by taking our ruler, lining it up on the top one, and then lining it up on the bottom one, and then double checking to make sure they're both in the right place, and then drawing a line down. And you might want to draw these lightly because you're going to erase these lines. And then we'll come over to these marks and do the same thing again. Put them where you want them. Check, double check, hold the ruler tight, and draw the line. And now we have 3 separate but equal grids. We're going to take our ruler on the side now and mark it at the top. And this should be 6 inches now. 6 inches. And so we're going to mark it at the 2, and we're going to mark it at the 4. And once we've done that, we're going to go over to the top of the other side and mark it at the 2 and mark it at the 4. And now we'll take our ruler, we're going to line up this side, and we're going to line up this side, and make sure that it's lined up perfectly straight before you draw your line. Check, double check, put your pencil down, make sure you're holding it nice and tight, and draw your line. Now we'll move down, same thing, check, double check, put your pencil down, draw it nice and tight. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 equal boxes. We have 1 focal point, 2 focal point, 3 focal point, 4 focal points. We are ready to create our artwork here. Our wonderful area has a nice border around it all the way. We are set to create some art today. So please do this. If you missed any steps or if any of your lines are crooked, this is the time to change it. Get your eraser out, your ruler out, and fix it, because we want this to be perfect, because it's easier to fix things now than when in the future, and you have to erase a lot more. And then also draw these lines on the inside lightly. So if you need to, erase it and make sure that's correct, so that way you can go into this assignment succeeding. All right, thank you.